Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. It strikes me the Star Trek Discovery producers are gagging to make Michael Burnham the captain of Discovery. In fact, I'll go further and say before this show actually started last year, I assumed that she would earn the right to be the captain. And even though she's not the captain, she's pretty much running Discovery. So it's very problematic because for the first three quarters, Pike isn't really acting like a captain. He's kind of giving it large to Burnham, and she interrupts him and says, if you let me finish, we would never leave a comrade behind. But it's all in the script, you see, to give her an opportunity to talk down to him. So I found that very interesting. The story about the girl who made the stars, again, very SJW. But I'll be honest with you, Star Trek Discovery looks beautiful and it sounds beautiful. Some of the stuff with the ships and the meteors was absolutely beautiful and it really worked. And I wouldn't necessarily say that's Star Trek, but it's very epic. And that was a very exciting moment. Anson Mount as Pike is fantastic. Pike and Tilly in this episode are exactly what you want from Star Trek characters. They work on so many levels. She's really kind of funny and emotional, and he's got that je ne sais quoi, Anson, that William Shatner had in his run as captain, so it works. What did he say to Burnham in the end? Let's try and have some fun. That's been put in there on purpose because this is one of the things that's been labelled against Discovery. It's far too serious because SJWs take themselves far too seriously. They always tell me that representation and great entertainment fall into the same hat. And that's the problem. And that's obvious from modern day Hollywood and TV. I thought it was a very good 6 out of 10 episode, a good start to the season. I like the way Burnham is haunted by the memory of Spock and their childhood together. And it was interesting what she revealed to Pike near the end there about something that happened between them. I really hope it's not romantic. They're not going to go there. And is Discovery's Spock a toxic male? The funniest thing was in the first flashback when he shuts the door in her face. This could be the way that us as hardcore Star Trek fans have shut the door in kind of Michael Burnham's face as well. And maybe the writers were trying to echo that. I think Sonique Martin Green is a very good actor. She plays Burnham really well. She can only do what's written on the script. The problem with Burnham, she has no personality. I like the way they fleshed out her character. I like the history. I like what she's gone through. She is the lead of a Star Trek TV show, but she lacks the personality of a lead of a Star Trek TV show should have. That really is where the problem lies. And Tilly has all the personality you would expect from a lead from a Star Trek TV show. In fact, I'd go as far and say it's actually, if they wanted a female lead, they should have really gone for Tilly rather than Burnham. But that doesn't tick the kind of categories that they want to tick off. But all they had to do is make Burnham less serious, more cavalier, more Kirk-like. Janeway was nothing like Kirk. Let's get that right. She was very, I'm the captain. But she just worked. She had bags of personality. You peeled the layers off the character, and it was so intense and so interesting. She was a great captain. And that was back in the day where you didn't really see female leads, and she worked. And no one went against what they were trying to do with her because it wasn't just about representation. The representation of a female captain was important and it mattered, especially in the 90s. But they actually did something with her. They were creative. It was entertaining. It was interesting. And this is, if you go back to Michael Burnham, Janeway is everything, but Burnham isn't. They really want to make her captain. She's not the captain, but she's still kind of leading everyone. She was even telling Pike what to do at times. Even when you got that kind of dogfight with the meteors or whatever they were, she's kind of leading the charge. And if you want her to do that, you've got to make her captain. But the producers don't have the guts. Not that it will take much guts to make her captain. She's your lead. Just make the woman the bloody captain and be done with it. I mean, but she does need fleshing out and she does need a kind of personality. I think it's very interesting. I like the scenes when she's with her father. I think that's a brilliant dynamic. Look, a lot of people have compared Discovery with Doctor Who season 11. I think the comparables are there. I just feel that maybe that Star Trek Discovery is more interesting than Doctor Who season 11. They're trying to do the same things, but I do think there's a story there. It is more exciting, and the series has actually got potential. The problem is they've gone through so many showrunners. This can become really problematic. Dexter was one of the best TV shows I ever saw, but one of the problems with Dexter was it had good showrunners in the first 3 or 4 years, but then it kept on changing, and the showrunners weren't as good, and the show just was getting dumbed down and dumbed down. And Showtime tried to take a show that was very hardcore and edgy and make it mainstream. And whenever you try and do that, it's a problem. But already Discovery has had this problem where you're changing the showrunners, you're changing the narrative constantly. Lorca was mentioned. I think Lorca was a really good villain for the first season. It doesn't seem to me that they're going to do the same thing. Now, I didn't really understand what happened at the end there when Burnham went onto the Enterprise. I'm assuming that was the Enterprise, right? And she was looking at Spock's computer. Now, on Spock's voice, I think it was very close to Nimoy. Listen, when a show is part of a big IP, but it relies on older characters and to keep on name dropping them, like they're doing with Spock. Spock's been cast, we're going to see him. But the voice was great. But I just feel when you're relying on old characters from iconic IPs, there's a problem. You should be creating brand new, brilliant characters that, these new fans can really admire and look up to and have a bit of a giggle with as well. As I say, Discovery lacks this is Discovery's big problem, lack of personality. Now, I think bringing in Pike and bringing in Anson Mount as Pike is really good. It's a good start. He's got kind of the aura, as I said before, of a Kirk, of someone who can be fun when he's getting his whatever he's getting read by Tilly, and he goes, ow, and it's just a joke. And he's already getting this good relationship with Tilly. In fact, Tilly would make a great number 2. The problem is with SJW shows, you get characters bigging up other characters. Oh, one day you're going to be a great captain, and things like that. And before he's even met her, Pike's going to Burnham. Oh, they told me you were clever. Hey, she just said hello to you, mate. How did you work that out? But yeah, it's just bigging up the characters. They want us to know she's a woman and she's intelligent. We know. As I say, Burnham's an okay character. If only they made her more of a Star Trek character. Burnham's a character who takes herself far too seriously. But I think as a season premiere, the setup was really, really good. And I liked it. I wasn't bored within the episode. I thought there was too much dialogue at the beginning and it took a while to get to the action and to the meat of the episode. But I thought ultimately what they were trying to do was really good. Unfortunately, if you're going to watch Star Trek Discovery, there's still going to be many, many SJW moments of the week, like the girl who made the stars. Yeah, we all get it there. A lot of females talking down to males and things like that. If you look beyond that, it's actually quite a good show. I quite enjoyed the first season. I know there were issues with the Klingons and things like that. And they are issues. They look nothing like Klingons, right? We get that. But still the story of the war with the Klingons against the Federation and things like that. It was still an exciting, good season. I still enjoyed it. But I can understand diehard Trekkies' issues with it. But I still think, look, the show's a work in progress. There's no question about it. I still think it's okay. If it just had a little bit more personality, it will be a lot more interesting.